Hello everyone. Today I want to talk to you about chakras. Chakras is a term that is very used these days, but it's important to understand where they come from and what they actually are. So chakras are part of our subtle body or our energy body as we call it in yoga. Um, Chakras were discovered thousands of years ago by the ancient yogis and sages who went deep into meditation and they absorbed themselves in meditation and got to experience and explore all the different dimensions of our body. So by going deep into meditation, they not only got to experience different dimensions of our existence, they also got to connect with the universal consciousness, and then they downloaded information that is actually available to all of us in this human form. And we access that information through meditation. So, chakras, as I mentioned before, are part of the energy body. According to yoga, we have 5 different bodies or 5 kochas. We have our physical body, where we have, our bones, our flesh, organs, blood, blood vessels. Our brain is part of the, all that physicality is part of the physical body. And then we have the energy body. The energy body is also part of this system of 5 different bodies that we have. And in the energy body is where we have the chakras. It's like the energy of, of a person. You know, when sometimes you have someone walking into a room and you can feel their energy, or when you are with someone, say, oh, this person have really good energy, or this person doesn't have really good energy. That's the subtle body, or the energy body, right? The, how do we call this? Well, the aura of a person, right? So chakras belong to that system, to the energy body. So here we have, in the energy body, we have the chakras, we have the nadis, which are the channels through which prana flows. And then we have prana, of course. Prana is part of the energy body. So chakras are like batteries, right? So chakras are the batteries in the body, in the energy body, that store the prana. That's it. That's what they are. They are vortex of energy that contains and absorbs prana. Prana is the vital force. It's like the life force that is everywhere in the universe, right? And prana, we absorb the prana through the food we eat, through the air we breathe, by being exposed to the sun, by walking barefoot, by many different ways. So by absorbing prana, we absorb this prana, and then this prana is stored in the chakras. So then with every chakra, we can supply prana to our organs and through our physical body, right? So there are thousands of chakras in the body, many, many chakras, right? Actually, the chakras are the intersections of the nadis. So if you imagine like the nadis are like the highways through which prana flows, then when you have intersection, when 2 nadis intersect, we have a vortex of energy, and that's a chakra. And then the chakra store the prana. So then we have 7 main chakras in the body here, along our spine. That's why it's so important to have this aligned. And every chakra has a different function. You can go more in detail into that. But it's important to know that, the prana gets stored in the chakras, and then, the heart chakra will supply prana to the heart and the lungs and all this section here. Or, for example, your base chakra to your sexual organs, and your sacral to your digestive systems and things like that. So, according to yoga, right, when we have any trauma in life, or when things happen to us, we start having imprints in our body, right? Not only imprints in the mind, but we have imprints in our energy body, right? So these imprints are blockages of energy in our nadis. So as you imagine your nadis like pipes through which prana flows, if you have a blockage, then there is no flow of prana into that particular chakra. into the chakra or from the chakra, right? So for example, if growing up I have, situation where I feel like someone is, treat me badly, or I have pain in my heart, or I feel like sad in my heart, I start creating blockages around my heart chakra, right? And those blockages in the heart will stop me from having deep feelings of love or be able to express my love from my heart. So why this happen? Because then the prana doesn't flow into the chakra or out of the chakra. Then we might have blockages on our throat chakra. Then we cannot speak our truth. It's difficult for us to speak up, things like that. Or in our lower chakras, and then we have blockages in our sexual expression, right? We cannot feel or we cannot express. Or we have this connection from our sexual organs with our heart or with our mind, So there are multiple different situations that we might experience where we have blockages in our nadis. So prana is essential for living, right? Prana is a life force that has this universe together. The universe is together because of prana. Prana is everywhere, right? And the beauty of prana is that it's this cosmic energy, right? That lives in nature, it lives in the universe, and lives within us. Prana allows us to access consciousness. So the more prana you have, the more conscious you become as well. So in nature, you can see this, like a rock is a living being, in the yoga perspective, but the rock doesn't have much prana, almost none of prana. So that's why the rock is more unconscious, or we perceive the rock as more unconscious, because by not having prana, the rock can access the consciousness within. Then you have trees and you have animals, and different species have different amount of prana. So prana is in the food we eat, right? If you cut a vegetable and the vegetable is just cut and fresh and alive, that vegetable is full of prana as well. So by eating that vegetable, we're increasing the level of prana, because the prana is everywhere, right? Now, when you steam the vegetable, some of that prana goes away. If you boil the vegetable, more prana is going to go away. And then if you put your food in your microwave, or you freeze your food for the next day, all of that prana is gone, it's killed. You have food with zero prana, like McDonald's, and alcohol and drugs, and yes. So then you have food with less prana, like meat. It still have prana in it, but not as much as live, vegetables, raw vegetables, things like that. So it's very important to be aware of what we eat and the activities we perform. Like, if you abuse, sexual activity, that also is going to deplete your prana. That's energy going out, right? So the sages and ancient yogis, developed this system, and they understood the different chakras, and they could wrote all these texts about it. But not just that, they went into trying things. So yoga, the beauty of yoga, why yoga is not a religion or a cult, because yoga encourages you to do your own practice, to do your own self-exploration, so you can find the truth within you, which is quite beautiful, because yoga allows us through a system and give us tools and technology, in a way, for us to go deep into our own journey and discover the truth just by ourselves. And yoga encourages us to challenge, what yoga is telling us. So it's very difficult for some of us that are more focused on the mind or more intellectual, like I'm an engineer myself. So I was very, very proud of my analytical, and I was very pragmatic my whole life. But this journey took me into yoga. And yoga tells us that all these things, all these subtle energies, or even if you think about the soul, they are things that the mind cannot comprehend. The only way we can learn this thing is by experience, right? So yoga doesn't say this is the truth. Yoga says we have been there, this is what we found, go and find it by yourself, by meditation, by practicing yoga, by practicing pranayama. So in yoga, we practice something called pranayama, which are very advanced breathing techniques that allow us to master the prana, which is the life force. So pranayama means prana, of course, life force, and yama is control. So it could be control of the life force, or we can also translate it as Pranayama. Ayama instead of yama. So different textbooks say different things. And ayama means expansion. So expansion of our life force. So the yogis developed the science of pranayama to allow us to control and expand, the life force within us. And there are different types of pranayamas. There are energizing pranayamas, there are relaxing pranayamas, and there are some other ones that are designed to balance the energy within us. And also to purify, the body. As we spoke before, trauma is stored in the body as a way of blockages of the nadis. So by practicing pranayama, things like nadi sadhana, which is purification of the nadis or purification of the energy channels, you can purify your channels. And we start with the basic practice, and then you go into a medium practice, and then you can do advanced practice, with mantras and by changing the length of the inhale and then the length of the exhale. And we start adding things like, breath retention. And all the things allow us to purify the nadis, but not just that, to move our prana to different places in the body. Ideally to the inner channel for a bit of awakening or a bit of, self-revelation. So yeah, that's pranayama. Pranayama is the science to study, to expand the life force within us. And we do that through the breath, because the breath we take, the oxygen we breathe, has the most amount of prana in the universe. I don't know if in the universe, but available to us humans, right? So yeah, that's for you. Those are the chakras. That's prana. That's pranayama. If you want to learn more, I'm running a 5-week pranayama program, which is for well-being and spiritual growth. So we learn how to use the breath, to control our nervous system, or how to advance in our spiritual path. Okay, so this is an online program that I will keep running, ongoing. So let me know if you want to learn more. You can find me on social media or just send me a message. I'll love to talk to you. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.